Shalom, shalom, peace. Welcome to another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger, DSTM as it's known as. Episode number 147, I believe we're on, or 148. 148, I believe. I'm losing track, man. Things are moving so fast. Time is moving so fast. Conditions and issues of the world is going so fast. It's hard to keep up with everything. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. If you came in this house, I need you to be on your best behavior. Wipe your feet. Wipe your feet when you come on in, all right? Hit that like button. Let's get the algorithms going. Let's teach these damn Edomites and these bots what real rhythm is. Real rhythm means that we unify, we push in unison one particular movement, right? Today you're going to be pushing the movement of Don't Shoot the Messenger, all right? I'm your host, IQAhmath. IQAhmath, first name. IQ is all the same. Hopefully everybody's well on this hump day. This Hebrew hump day, as it's known, as I've coined the term, I believe. Hopefully everybody's solid, man, and staying focused, continuing on your journey of fearing the Most High, keeping the commandments, utilizing information to help further your relationship with the Most High, Yahweh Shai, and your fear of the Most High, and your diligence to the Scriptures, and you're doing your part to keep our nation in enlightenment and out of the darkness. Wow, the plot thickens. The plot thickens. As the headline says, man, Putin vows that he's going to use weapons of destruction against the West and NATO. Might I add? What are the weapons of destruction that he could be talking about? You know, and I know. Nuclear warfare is on the table, and you know what he said? Not me. He said, "I'm not bluffing." And I'm not bluffing. Try me if you want to. I'm not bluffing. Okay? I've been saying it for the longest, man. If you continually keep pushing this particular narrative that, Putin is this murderous, demon, which I won't take away that he's a demon. Is he a murderer? Yeah, I guess so. But, the West and the media of the West continually pushes narrative. It's Putin's war. Putin is the reason why your food prices has gone up. Putin is the reason why your gas prices has gone up. Putin is the reason that the whole world is going to hell in a handbasket. When all of these issues already pre-existing before February 26th, when they initiated that civil war over there between Russia and the Ukraine. Um, so we covered the story last weekend. The German government seized Russian businesses that controlled the oil over there. They just straight up hijacked it, said, man, we taking this and we're going to hold on to it for 6 months. We're not going to freeze this year and we're not going to cower down to whatever Putin was. They continually paint this particular picture of him, and they're saying he's taking all these losses over there. He's losing troops, generals. He's making it. He's an embarrassment. All of this other stuff, right? So if you keep on pushing somebody into a corner and backing them down, the only thing that they say you can do is fight or flight. Well, in his situation, he's getting backed into a corner. There's no running. So he has to retaliate and come back. So, like I said, there's not going to be some uh, surrender, waving a white flag, a global apology that comes from him saying, "Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do this. It was a bad idea for me to, initiate this war to gain back Ukraine as part of the unified Russian empire." Oh, that even though that was an internal issue between them that's been going on for damn near 20 years now, all of a sudden, everybody and their mama wants to get involved. Mainly America, the great horror, wants in. But nonetheless, he's vowed that he's going to use weapons of mass destruction And there's been a response. The U.S. said, if you even try it, we are going to retaliate. So the conversation of warfare is already on deck. The conversation of nuclear war is on deck. Threats are being made, and he said he's not bluffing, right? Let's look at the articles. We got some other things we're going to talk about. Slow Leiden, has announced that the pandemic is over. So hopefully these community guidelines that's been getting channel struck and taken away and everything else, hopefully YouTube could kind of reform their guidelines now that many people have been vindicated, as the CDC has said they've made grave errors in how they handled the pandemic. And, there's, uh, see, because they haven't done it, I'm going to be quiet. But, you know, the so-called pandemic is over, according to Slow Biden. Um, we've got 850 teachers in New York's been fired because they didn't follow protocol in regards to the health threat. You know what I'm talking about? Even though the pandemic is over, you got 850 just got fired. What's that about? Earthquakes, massive storms, flooding, power outages in Puerto Rico. I mean, the world's going to hell in the handbasket, man. We got to talk about it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Hold on. My computer's moving slow for some reason. Okay. Here we go. Let's run through this real quick. All right. As we see here, Putin's nuclear threat. I mean, we've been talking about this ad nauseum for the last year, right? Let alone been talking about this for years as men of the Lord, teaching about the imminent destruction of America, the imminent World War III that's based upon scriptural prophecy, also known as the third woe, as spoken of in Revelation. Um, we've been talking about this for years on end, and the conversation is becoming more enlightening during this period of quote unquote wokeness, that now people are starting to get it a little bit, especially the children of Israel, who really this pertains to. It's about our salvation, our deliverance, the vengeance that is set forth before us by our Lord and Savior, Mashiach Yahushua, granted by the Most High Yahweh, right? All of these things now are starting to come to pass. They're all becoming a lot more visual now. It's becoming a little bit more real. Huh? Strap in. Strap in. The ride is just getting started. Remember, Yahushua even said, he said, these are just the beginning of sorrows. Just the beginning. Can you imagine? Me, see, I'm about to go on a rant, but let me stick to the script. Let me stick to what I planned on, and maybe I'll come back to a rant. Putin's nuclear. That's all caps, isn't it? Am I reading this correctly? All cap. Oh, okay. Threat to the West. Who's the head of the West, man? You talking about America? America and its NATO allies is known as the West. Russia and Putin had he just had his national address and speech yesterday. And he's already acknowledged that he's at war with NATO. He's not even concerned about Ukraine right now. He's already acknowledging, he's saying, look, my war is with NATO at this point. Remember last Saturday I said, and we covered the article, that he's already running war games off the coast of Alaska with some 30 warships, submarines with nukes on them and the whole nine. And I made the point. If he's over there taking all of these losses, hundreds and thousands of his men are dying, and he just lost regions all over the place, why does he still have opportune time to have a whole nother operation and war games going on over here in the West? If he's taking all them L's, man, he's supposed to be calling them in. All hands on deck. Get back over here right now. We're losing. You understand what I'm saying? So Ukraine, he's got in the bag. Despite what the West media is talking about, despite all of that foolishness, look, he had 300,000 troops ready to go. These are reserves, ex ex military. He's calling them all up, saying, "Look, come on, it's time to get right. It's time to step it up now. I'm done playing games. It's time to get busy." Let's read this. Putin's nuclear threat to the West. Vladimir warns Ukraine's allies, his allies. That's why I said he ain't worried about the Ukraine no more. That's already a wrap. He can get that whenever he wants. He's already has four regions in Ukraine jumping on board with him. Hold on. Let's look at this real quick. I spelled it wrong. Addendum. Let's see if that'll pull it up. Okay, here we go. Uh, let's just pull up this real quick. 4 regions in Ukraine to hold a referendum on becoming part of Russia. If the Ukraine wasn't taking these losses, do you think that these 4 regions in Ukraine said, "We're out of here. We're going back home to Russia"? If they was really getting their asses whipped like that, do you really think that these 4 regions, Luhansk, Kherson, Donetsk, and Zaporizhia, I don't know if I'm saying them right, but who cares? At this point, the point needs to be made that you've got 4 regions in the Ukraine saying, "We're done. We're going back to Russia, man. We're not going to get blown up. We're not going to get froze out. We're not going to get starved out. We're not winning this one. We're going back home." Hello? Is this thing on? Or would you rather keep listening to talking heads on CNN and everybody else running around here talking about, oh, uh, 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 Russia and Putin, they getting their butts whipped. But that ain't what the scriptures say, man. They got to lead the charge, according to Ezekiel 37. They got to lead the charge to the imminent, or is it Ezekiel 38? I'm sorry, it's like 38. They got to lead the charge. We've read this a million times about verse 4 and verse 5 and verse 6. How the Most High is going to turn back Gog and Magog, right? And put hooks in his jaws and bring him forth in all thine army and horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. We talked about the related nations who are now making pacts with them, from Iran down to Ethiopia and different countries in Africa to Libya. I mean, we're talking about different areas in the quote unquote Middle East that are now joining hands with them. I've talked about the relationship between Moab and Ammon and how they're always connected with the so-called white man. And that's why they're dividing up their spoils. Japan going over with America, Taiwan trying to link themselves with America, even though they're Moab, but they're sellouts. Then you got China aligning themselves with Russia. Okay? We haven't even talked about Afghanistan, Syria, Turkey. That's where Libya, all them fall into play. So all of these nations is all there. That's why we're not going to hear about. I mean, they got war going on right now, a border war between Armenia and what's that other country? Hold on. See, the activity over there in the land of Gog and Magog right now is up. That's why we're seeing all of this activity because of what we're reading in Ezekiel 38. Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan. That's the one. And of course, Nancy Pelosi with her fake teeth, you know, she got something to say. She was just over there again visiting Armenia, just like she was over there in Taiwan. Everywhere this witch lands down, it's conflict and issues. Nancy Pelosi condemns Azerbaijan over Armenia attack. Visiting the Armenian capital, the House Speaker called for a negotiated solution to an outbreak of hostilities between the two countries that is the biggest in more than 2 years. And here she goes. Why is she always running around speaking? Huh? All of a sudden now she's the mouthpiece. See, here's the map right here. Azerbaijan and Armenia, Russia's right here, Georgia, Turkey, Iran, all in the same areas that we're reading about the activities going down in the land of Gog and Magog. Okay? So, the activity is up. Putin's not going to take no losses. He's got to lead the charge into World War III. Thus saith the Lord. So when we're reading about all these, oh, he's taking a loss. Oh, he wants this to end fast. Oh, he doesn't want no more. Oh, look at Zelensky running around posing in Vogue magazine and wearing that same old dirty green T-shirt every time he gets. Come on, man. Let's stop the madness. Clearly, we see here, man. Putin is just beginning. Do you know that he said in that same meeting, man? He said he congratulated. He was in a meeting with his council, his parliament, and all of that. Now, mind you, he said this move right here was all agreed upon by his parliament. It ain't just him. They all agree. It's time to step it up, but it's time to move. And they said, congratulate. We've only spent $6 billion on this war. $6 billion. And he said, and look, America's running dry on weapons. NATO's running dry on their weapons. They just got to telling the U.S. military, man, that they need to get on EBT because they ain't got the money to help them right now with their benefits. We'll get to that one on Friday or Saturday. What most are willing this weekend, one either the evening or the morning of the Sabbath. I'll cover that one, man. But yeah, they telling the U.S. troops, man, get on EBT because we ain't got the money, man. We're in a recession, and we got to keep sending these billions over there to Ukraine. So let's read this. Putin's nuclear threat to the West. Vladimir warns Ukraine's allies he will use weapons of destruction, announces mobilization of another 300,000 troops, and declares, I'm not bluffing. Take that for what it's worth. Vladimir Putin has threatened the West with nuclear weapons over Ukraine, telling leaders, I'm not bluffing. How do we know that he can make good on this? Because Ukraine is already complaining, saying that he's launched and blew up sites and missiles like 300 yards away from a nuclear power plant. And they was calling that nuclear war. They was saying that was a nuclear threat. He was like, look, I can hit that right now and cause a whole nuclear outbreak over there. Keep playing. Ukraine is already saying he's over there starting a nuclear war. So when he say he's not bluffing, he's not bluffing. See, I'm just gonna highlight this. I'm not even gonna read it because I want to stay on task. I gotta stay on topic. See, Ukraine warns second nuke plant in danger from strikes as fighting continues. Ukraine warns of Russian quote nuclear terrorism from strike near the plant. So they're already saying he's already ready to go and isn't afraid to commit quote unquote nuclear terrorism. So if he's saying I'm not bluffing, should they believe that? Should they consider it real? I mean, you're talking about a man who named his most destructive weapon Satan too, and then ask if he's bluffing. Desperate despot also announced mobilization of 300,000 reservists, first Russian mobilization since World War II. And you know what the West does? The West double backs and says, "Oh, look, he's doing that because he's desperate. Oh, look, he's doing that because he's losing. That's because he's you keep provoking even more. They want war." What do you do, man, when somebody says, "Okay, you know what? I'm getting ready to just shut everything down. I'm bringing out the big guns." And then your opponent says, "Oh, you're just doing that because you're scared. Oh, you're just doing that because you're desperate. Oh, you're just doing that because you've been getting your ass beat." Either way, the results remain the same. They coming out. So they're doing that to provoke him to say, "Oh, I'm a punk. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, because I'm desperate. Okay, I'm gonna show you how desperate I am." And then next thing you know, things really get lit. So, Desperate Despot also announced mobilization of 300,000 reservists, the first Russian mobilization since when? Since when? The Second Woe. Oh, okay. Occupied Ukrainian territories will be annexed to Russia, he said, and, quote, all means will be used to defend them. Ukraine dismissed the threat, saying it is predictable and shows the war is not going as Putin had planned. Scroll down to read Putin's address in full. We're not going to read it in full. You can check it out for yourself. Okay. But again, he's clearly making threats. Look, it's not a bluff. We will use all resources we have to defend our people. I tell the West, we have lots of weapons to reply. It's not a bluff. Hmm? Not a bluff. And we've already seen 4 Ukrainian regions saying we want back home. So, you tell me who's winning. You tell me who's getting ready to turn up the heat. Okay? And mind you, and we'll cover it even more in depth. Most are willing this Sabbath, but let me see something. There was another article in this same. See, look at this. Jobs bloodbath. See, this is all stuff I was gonna cover later, but see here, they're talking about the inflationary rates, which just got raised up again. Um, they're talking about how inflation is getting ready to really hit. People are gonna be losing their jobs. We talked about all of this. I did a lesson maybe about 2 years ago, almost, and made the comparisons between 1919 and 1920, the Roaring Twenties, and then leading up to the Great Depression. There's a lot of different similarities in these time frames. The Most High tells us the things that were done aforetime were for our learning. That we have to sit back and kind of analyze these things historically, prophetically, and understand really where we're headed. During the Roaring Twenties, everybody was rolling in money. The first Ford car was made. What's going on now? Oh, the electric cars is now the new hype. People was rolling in money. Stimulus was flying. People was out there hustling. They got the PPP going, the EDDs. Everybody was being entrepreneurs. Gig economies was booming. Everybody was balling. 2020, 2021, now mid 2022, people is like, ooh, the money ain't flowing like it used to. This is why you see people are out there robbing and stealing and killing rappers every minute and then trying to grab jewelry and smashing and grabbing in stores because the money ain't what it used to be. It's getting up out of here now, right? 1920, the Roaring Twenties, man, the stock markets was booming, everybody was making money and all of that, and then that recession hit and depression hit, food scarcities kicked in, man, suicides was up, the whole nine. all starting in about 20, yeah, what was it? 1928, 29 into 30. Same type of time frame. You had the Spanish flu that was going on, 1919 moving forward. What did we have? We had our own little plague jumping off, shut down, locked down the whole world. I'm gonna have to repost that lesson again, so y'all can see where I'm going with it, if you hadn't seen it already. But look at this. America will retaliate with the devastating strike against Russia's Black Sea Fleet or bases in Crimea if Putin follows through on threat to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. U.S. Army's former European commander warns. So, America's ready to retaliate. Look, Putin's terrifying nuclear arsenal, unstoppable hypersonic missile, submarine drones, artillery capable of lobbing atomic shells that are at the despot's disposal as he threatens the West. So they pulling out the weapons. Here comes America talking about we're gonna retaliate. It's on, it's lit, we going up. We'll talk about all of them things in detail a little bit more this weekend. But for time's sake, because I am on a schedule today, I do want to go ahead and get to these other articles. But you see what it is. The main highlight of what's happening, and the closer we're drawing towards World War III, the closer we're falling into real desperate times. Jacob's troubles are increasing. It's now. It's now. Look at this. Slow Biden still wearing a damn mask, talking about the pandemic is over. He had a 60 minutes interview, talking about the state of affairs of America, the pandemic, the economy and inflation. They threw him a lot of softball questions, man, and even his weak arms was able to hit a couple of home runs because they ain't really trying to hit him upside the head with some real issues. Ask him about his health. He says, "Watch me." I mean, what does that mean? We are watching you falling up the stairs, falling on bikes, shaking ghost hands in the middle of press conferences. We are watching you, man. What the hell are you talking about? It's the whole reason why people are saying, man, hey, you about to be 80, man. You think it's over with? You think you need to go ahead and sit down somewhere? He says, watch me. With his little Top Gun shades. This dude is a straight clown, man, and a joke. But he's declared that the pandemic is over. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Isn't that what they say? So let's see, if that's the case. Whoops. What happened here? NYC fires another 850 teachers and teaching aides after they failed to get their DVOC jabs by September 5th deadline, bringing a total to 1,950 terminated by the Department of Education since that mandate took effect. Are they going to get their jobs back now that Slow Biden has said it's over? Are they going to get their jobs back? Huh? I mean, are the federal workers who lost their jobs, are they going to be redeemed again? Oh no, you can't because we're in a recession. Job cutting and inflationary spending has to be cut. You know, I mean, Walmart and a number of different huge chains are cutting out or canceling billions of dollars worth of purchases. Ford is possibly going to be committed. We talked about Ford. They're talking about laying off 3,000 workers already. Amazon layoffs, shutdowns. You understand? So you're talking about, can you give people their jobs? But they ain't gonna be no damn jobs. They're getting ready to collapse everything. You sit back and say, well, why the hell would you do? Why would you do the Department of Education? Hello? Don't you realize that that's where they starting at? The children? I mean, you don't see it with the attack on gender, the attack on drag queens reading to your kids and teaching them how to twerk and how to put dollar bills in garter belts in gay bars. Oh, you haven't seen those videos? Or how about the one that I showed with the drag queen prancing around at the high school, the Catholic high school at that Catholic high school, trying to bring awareness and diversity, bringing a woke culture there. How about the little kids hanging out at the pride parades? How about Governor Newsom here in California saying that kids had to remain 6 feet and wear masks and the whole nine, or they can't come to school. But in the midst of a monkeypox outbreak, said that it was cool for the sodomites to have their leather and pleasure uh, parade up north in San Francisco. He said, "Hey man, let the sodomites. Y'all can rub and grab and grope each other all day. Kids, stay away." They talk about how the studies have, all the studies, man, how the intelligence levels of the kids have gone down since the pandemic. The lockdowns have created all kind of depressions and issues, man. And what's that do? Big Pharma steps up and says, "Don't worry, we already got the drugs on deck. Here, you can have some Lexapro. Here, you can have some Adderall. You can have this. You can have that." You understand? So now they got more of a zombie public because now everybody's strung out on drugs. They know what they're doing. Firing the teachers, man. Didn't we just read the story? I mean, an article out of LAUSD, Los Angeles Unified School District. 70% of the teachers have thought about quitting. How do you get a next generation to collapse? You got to cut them off. So the kids, the parents, they're all going to be affected. A generation of dummies, man, can only be led. So they're saying, here's the great reset. We're your leaders. We're your authorities. You do what we say. And don't worry about having to get educated and work, man. We'll have you on a government stipend. Yeah, it's going to be right on this nice little climate card. Your social credit score is going to base on, how you act and how well you're in subjection is going to base upon how much credit you get. We're going to cut you off on your spending if you've exceeded your carbon credits, man. You're just going to have to balance out your budget throughout the rest of the month. Your Ford and GM and all the rest. Don't worry about them cars getting made, man. The robots is going to take care of all of that. It's all going to be electronic. So this is where they just collapse everything, man, and just make everybody subservient, man, and couch potatoes sitting in the house in complete ignorance. That's what they want. So 850 teachers getting fired and teaching aides getting fired in New York. And then a week or two later, they talk about how the damn thing is over with. So New York again holding hostage people to something, man, that is actually expired. I'm trying to be cautious on how I speak about it. But look at it. The New York City Department of Education has axed 850 teachers and classroom aides after they refused to show proof of getting that treatment. 1,300 educators had been given almost a year to get that thing. 450 did so, agreeing to show proof of compliance by September 5th. It means that almost 2,000 school employees have been fired for failing to comply with the protocols imposed last October. So, New York is going to say, we gave you a year, you just strung along and didn't do nothing. Well, guess what, man? Part of that year, they were still, you know, have restrictions with school. It wasn't like everything was fully opened up, man. Kids were still wearing masks. I mean, come on. But it doesn't matter, man. What happened to Whitney Houston when she said she believes the children are the future and all of that? That's not the truth anymore. Yeah, they know. So this is why you see the constant protests. But teachers, which was once a staple in the community to help, build up, supposedly build up the next generation of learners and thinkers, are getting axed out, are despising their jobs, are turning to OnlyFans to make money. Yeah, there's a teacher in I seen a story, man. There's a teacher in Arizona. The broad got fired, or she quit because somebody had found her OnlyFans online or something, and she was like, "Well, the hell with it. I'm a millionaire anyway from OnlyFans. I was teaching because I loved it." I mean, this was going on here in Babylon, man. Anyway, let's move on. Uh, so we had a come on now. Let's move on to this one. So, by now we know Hurricane Fiona, earthquake hit. I mean, Salaki, hurricane hit over in Puerto Rico. Is making its way. It's made its way to Turks and Caicos. It's making its way over there to I think Barbados or Bermuda. Devastating hurricane, man. Our people is over there now destitute, man. I think they said 80% of Puerto Rico is without power. They're shocked at the amount of damage that's been done over there. It started off as a level one. It's quickly increased up to, I believe, a level 3 or 4. I mean, look at these damn demons on this thing, man. Did you see the outfits the broad had on, man? Swords and horns, and I mean, that's just distracting. But anyway, um, so we've seen the storms that's happening. Um, Yeah, revisiting Hurricane Maria. Exactly 5 years after Hurricane Maria's high winds devastated the island, killing thousands and plunging millions into months of darkness, Puerto Ricans found themselves rescuing vulnerable residents, repairing homes, and checking in on neighbors in the wake of yet another major storm. So, if we remember, uh, yeah, Hurricane Maria was cold. They was without power for months. That happened like they said 5 years ago to the day in September. They didn't get power back until damn near the spring, from my memory, that following year. So you talking about months with no power, you know. Can you imagine the sewage systems, how that was looking? The food supplies, how ruined they were. Water contaminated and jacked up. I mean, it's only through the most high, man, that our brothers and sisters out there survived that. And now they get hit again. So 20% of the country has no power. So the times of darkness, blackouts, and all of that is it's here. It's here. Look at this other one. We seen that the other day. I think was it Sunday again. For some reason, this article is giving me a hard time. Here we go. Now I just covered 2 weeks ago Mexico. If y'all remember, I did show the article about how Mexico was now becoming um a vacation spot for alternative spirituality where they were holding, yoga and Eastern Buddhist philosophies and teaching all of this other esoteric madness going on over there. And I said, no wonder, and you wonder why the Most High is constantly punishing them with cartel violence and trying to run up out, the violence, the death, the poverty, and everything else, because here they are carrying on, still doing the same old things. And then look what happens 2 weeks later. If y'all don't remember that, man, go back about 3 episodes. And I covered the article. It was out of Yahoo that they were talking about how Mexico's became a place of alternative healing or something like that. And it was a little Russian. They got Edomites down there, running down there. Uh, Hold on, let me see if I can find. Uh, I can't remember the actual thing on the article. I got it on one of my PowerPoints, but nonetheless, yeah, it was a Yahoo article. Hopefully, y'all remember what I'm talking about, so I don't have to always have to double back and prove what I'm saying. But I mentioned it, and I said this is why the Most High keeps hitting their asses upside the head because they constantly are straying away. We ain't even talking about. I mean, that was just them dealing in Buddhism and uh, transcendental meditation, and I think they was even dealing with some of the alternative, psychedelics, uh, with ayahuasca and all the other stuff, right? We ain't even talking about Caesar Borgia. We ain't even talking about the Virgin Guadalupe. We ain't even talking about all of the damn patron saints, even the ones that they protect the drug dealers and all of that. Oh yeah, they got who? Okay. Just in case y'all thought I was tripping. Meet Jesus Malverde, the patron saint of Mexico's drug cartels. Hello? The patron saint of drug dealers, Malverde. Here he goes right here. There's the idol. There's the candles. There's the, the whole damn, the pictures in the back. They got the shrine and the altars. They offering up prayers to these damn idols. And then you wonder why the Most High has to smack them upside the head and say, you know what? What the hell is wrong with you? Get up off of that idol worship, man. But that was always a problem with the Northern Kingdom. Always the problem. We'll talk about that on another day. 7.6 hit them. And they better be thanking the Most High that only one person died. They got massive damage, but Most High only took one life. But their way of life now is going to be affected because of the damage. See, now they're really going to be running over here to White Zaddy, knocking on the doors of that damn gate at the border saying, let us in. I just seen another article earlier. They just seen 500 on a night vision camera creeping through, sliding their way up into Babylon. They on a mission, man. So we see that that's going on. Look at this. Storm damage in Japan. 130,000 still lack power. They had an earthquake in Taiwan. I mean, all of these things are happening simultaneously. It's almost like back to back, right? So you got the earthquake in Mexico, earthquake in Taiwan, storm that hit Puerto Rico, storm hitting Japan, right? Caused a massive damage. 130,000, no power over there in Japan. Tropical storm to dump heavy rain as it cuts across Japan moved into the Pacific Ocean on Tuesday after killing 2 and injuring more than 100, paralyzing traffic and leaving thousands of homes without power. Oh, let me not forget that other earthquake in China 2 weeks ago. See, even though Earth is upset with this damn place and how things is moving. So the Most High is establishing judgment, man, and he's only just flickering at the world saying, wake up. Believe now? You understand? The beginning is sorrows, man. Earthquakes in diverse places, man. Wars, rumors of wars, famine, pestilence. We're seeing it all. All right, let's move on. Let's get an update on what's been going on over there in Mississippi, man. And people just forgot about Mississippi. I ain't gonna forget about my people down there. All right, if you're talking about 80% of the population over there is Israel, and they had a whole issue. Let's see what's going on with this damn thing. It's just Satan, man, trying to slow up the process. You know what? Let me close out some of these, maybe. Maybe that's the case. We'll close out some of the ones we've already covered. Oh, we're going to close that one out. We talked about that one. We talked about this one in Japan. Now, if we can just get this one to cooperate. See, this is the madness, man, that goes on in my life. Anyway, let's look at this. All right, since we're on the topic, since we'll switch topics, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about it, the economy. The warning bells are continuing to ring, trying to alarm and wake up the people of Israel. Man, okay, you know what? Let's go here. Let's go here. I don't know what other way to do it. All right. But let's let Ezekiel tell us what needs to be done, man. Ezekiel 33:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people. This is a specific message that needs to be told to the people of the Lord. Who was that? the children of Israel, man. Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics. The Lord said that this word needs to be spoke to you. You're his people. So listen up and say unto them, ain't concerned about the damn heathen. Ain't concerned about the white man, the Japanese, Chinese, Africans, East Indians, Arabs. They are irrelevant to the topic of conversation. When I bring the sword upon a land, he said, wherever it's at, when you hear destruction and you know that the Most High is behind it, let me get one more. Let me open up one more, man. Let me open up one more. He said, when you hear and know that a sword has been brought upon a land, let's read Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? The trumpet was always utilized, which we're coming up on. Memorial blowing the trumpets. As far as me and mines are concerned, and when we're keeping it, it will be this Sunday at sundown, this new moon, seventh new moon, which is also the inaugural blowing of trumpets. The people who act like us took our name and identity, they call it Rosh Hashanah. But this is the in gathering of the harvest time. This is the time of alarm. This is the time of awareness. This is the time of gathering. This is the time of unification. This is the time of warning when that trumpet gets blown. So we will be commencing and keeping our holy day this Sunday night at sundown. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, we see that day. But the Lord said, if a trumpet gets blown in the city, shall the people not be afraid? In certain countries, man, that are prone to having flooding, earthquakes, massive storms, what do you call them? Tsunamis. They have alarms. I was in Hawaii years ago, right? They have horns set up all over the damn islands because not only did they have like a military, they used to have the military bases over there, but for tsunamis and any other particular emergencies, those horns are gonna go off, man. Everybody in the city knows what time it is, what to do. That means emergency measures have to be taken. So the Most High said the same thing. If a trumpet's blown in the city, shouldn't the people be afraid? He said, shall there be an evil in the city and the Most High have not done it? The Most High said, man, give me credit for everything, man. That earthquake in Mexico, that was him. The flooding that's happening in China, Mississippi, the power outages and the hurricanes that's happening over there in Puerto Rico and now going on into Turks and Caicos and Barbados, I believe, or Bermuda, one of the two B's. Know that he's done it, man. The storm over there in Japan, the typhoons that be hitting over there in the Philippines, the earthquake that happened in China. The Most High said that was all me. Drug cartel wars and deaths happening. The Lord said, that's all me. You got a problem with it? Do you understand? But the Lord said, listen, I'm not going to do anything without giving you fair warning. When going back to Ezekiel 33 and verse 2, it says, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land. So a sword is a weapon of destruction. He said, when I bring it upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to warn the people. Isaiah 28, I believe in verse 8 and 9, the Lord said that the prophets before us prophesied of many things, against kingdoms, countries, against pestilence and famine. That was the job of the prophet, was to warn and to acknowledge to the people, hey, sudden destruction is here. I can see and tell, looking at the prophecies of the Bible, looking at the understanding and the way that things are moving in the world, my people better get ready. My people better be more aware. People better get off of damn TikTok and learning how to, do your 1-2 step and doing stupid ass challenges like cooking chicken in NyQuil. That's going on now. All of this foolishness, man. The Lord said, my people are saddest children, man. Getting high all day, practicing your twerk moves in the mirror. And the Lord said, "Come on now, a trumpet is being blown. All hell is breaking loose throughout the earth, man." And our people sitting back saying, "What hell? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even watch the news. I don't even pay attention to none of that, man. It's too depressing." Okay, well, get your ass slaughtered because you'd rather not know. Ignorance is not bliss, man. The Most High said, "Be not ignorant of any matter, small or great." All right, that's Sirach 5:15. Ecclesiasticus 5:15. Let's move on. So the Lord said, "If and when he see the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head." So there's consequences and there's responsibilities and accountability that comes with one who is declared to be a watchman. It says, "Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword comes," so if he doesn't abide by what he's speaking on, he warns the people, but he don't do nothing. The Lord said, the sword's going to come, take him away, and his blood's going to be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. So I don't do this for YouTube views, to become a personality, to become a celebrity. I'm not out here panhandling for money. Those of you who do donate and send your alms, all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. I appreciate it. We appreciate it here, Messengers of the Covenant. But we don't do it for that. Don't do it for that. It's a job that has to be done. Myself and others and other great men in the nation are out there doing their job, and sisters are out there doing their job to do what we can to deliver our souls. But this isn't something that you're supposed to become a charlatan about and jumping on. "Oh, my audience loves me and blah 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 blah, and look at my followers and how many people I got subscribed." And listen, man, that's the one who's talking but doesn't actually take warning or doesn't do what he's supposed to do in regards to what he's speaking on. A hypocrite, in other words. We don't want to do it for those reasons, man. So we have to be careful to make sure. Vainglory is an MFer. We just got to make sure, man, we don't fall in them traps. I'm speaking to myself as I'm speaking to everybody else. Anything I say applies to me just as well. Just like we're reading right now. I'm blowing trumpets every week and every chance I get from my people. But if I don't take heed to everything I'm talking about, I'm damned too. Reading on, it says, "But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand." So if the watchman sees the sword coming, he knows what time it is. He sees that what imminent doom, destruction, prophecies being unfolded, and he says, "Man, to hell with Israel, man. I'm worried about me and mine. I ain't telling nobody. It is what it is. If they don't see it, they deserve to die. Whatever. Wicked niggas get they listen." The Lord said, "You not only are going to get put to death and taken away in your iniquity, but their blood is going to be on your hands, man. You staying tight-lipped and zipped up and not doing your part." The Lord said, "Man, death and iniquity is going to come to you." Verse 7. "So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them from me." So somebody got to be a warning. Somebody got to tell our people what time it is, man. So, like I said, myself and other great men in Israel, man, sisters that's out there being vigilant, holding themselves virtuous and chaste in these days, being examples to the flock. Salute to all of y'all. But this is part of the business. This is part of the things that we have to do. Here's a fair warning. We talked about, I told y'all, look, 50% of the jobs is on the line in various industries. It said 50% of the firms in America are going to be laying off within 6 months to a year, and they're already starting now. Matter of fact, the fact that Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, just upped the ante 0.75% again with the rates of inflation, is going up to damn near 8%, I believe, or something like that. only means, remember he said there's going to be some pain. There's going to be some easing of employment. And with no end date. It ain't like, oh, I just lost my job, I'll just go get another one. Many places are going to be cutting costs, cutting out salaries and all the other stuff because they're trying to survive and maintain what they still have. But you know what? That video got less than 200 views, man. Nobody cares. They just figured life was gonna go on, man. White man said it's gonna continue on. He said he's got a great reset plan. He's gonna save us. I don't need to go ahead and share this. I don't need to like this. I don't need to, be fairly warned. Oh yeah, the brother talked about, man, Amazon laying off. He talked about man, Zuckerberg just lost $71 billion. Oh yeah, the metaverse is failing. All of that stuff is all taking L's. Well, look at this. Walmart and other retailers are canceling billions of dollars in orders. What you Negroes and my people's favorite, one of their favorite stores, Walmart, canceling billions of dollars in orders. What does that mean for the supply food chain? What does that mean for your goods and services that you depend on Walmart so much for? Many communities, man, Walmart is the nearest and only spot that they can go to. Walmart, Sam's Club, and all them other, some of them other stores. I don't know some of the names in some of your other respective cities, but I know our people depend on Walmart like crazy. We got food chains and all the other stuff, but Walmart has the deals. Walmart has the big super Walmarts. You can buy everything that you need in one spot, from clothes to food to electronics to car supplies, gardening. You can get it all in one spot. And you living out in the boonies somewhere, there's a Walmart off the freeway, 30 minutes away, that you got to go and do your shopping at. But here they are saying, we got to cut down and save some money. So they're canceling billions of dollars in orders. We've all seen empty shelves over the past year. They're going to continue. Walmart, Target, Macy's, and Kohl's are among retailers that have recently said they are canceling some orders to better balance inventory levels, a replay of a strategy used to start at the start of the pandemic. Remember that? Remember how things were at the start? Stores were closing. I mean, how many 99-cent stores closed? Empty shelves. Couldn't get some things in. Oh, they need to balance the inventory levels. It's not because they got too much. They got to balance out them budget sheets. They got to figure out how much inventory, how much of the stuff are we going to bring in, and how much are we going to have to cancel out. Other steps retailers are using to clear inventories as spending has slowed on some non-discretionary categories are employing markdowns and packing away products for the following year. See, packing away products for the following year. Sounds like they're prepping. Oh, everything can't go. Some stuff we got to save so that we can get them off next year, because we're not buying new supplies next year. Oh, don't worry about it. We're just gonna mark up the expiration dates and the sell by dates and all that other stuff. That's why when you wonder, you're going to the stores and you're buying stuff and it's going bad in a day or two, because they switching up dates and all of that stuff. The elevated inventory levels also reflect intentional overbuying to mitigate shortages and the easing of supply chain constraints. Really. So we'll see about that. One risk of canceling orders is straining or damaging relationships with trading partners. After the pandemic arrived, many retailers were called out for not honoring their contracts to pay in full for goods that were in production, as well as for requests for postponements, discounts, or delays in payment. Did you hear that? Delays in payment, meaning they can't pay for the goods, they couldn't pay for the goods that they was getting. Asking for postponements, can we put that off, man? I'll buy that next shipment, 6 months from now when I got the money. Hello, this is where we're at right now. One of the biggest chains out there, Walmart, Target, all of them struggling now, saying we're gonna have to cut back on supplies. So that's the state of the economy right now. Let's look at this last story before I go. Racism seen as the root of a water crisis in Mississippi capital. Oh, really? Tell us something we don't know. I mean, we learned from Flint already. We see what's going on in New York with the water supply. You know that China has a water crisis as well going on over there? They were talking about how in Mississippi, Jackson, that some of the neighborhoods where the white folks live, their water was up and running way before the Israelites were. Some of them wasn't even affected. We know that there's no question white privilege exists and how people are our people are getting treated. But look at this. You know, it's all become kind of passe, man. Nobody's even talking about Mississippi and the water crisis no more. And I get it. There's so much stuff going on, man. You can forget and not even recap anymore. But look, our people still down there hurting, man. Carrie Wooten spent nearly 7 weeks hunting for safe drinking water. Hunting for safe drinking water for herself, her 2 children, and 3 dogs after clocking out each day as a Taco Bell manager. So Governor Tate Reeves' announcement that the water is clean again in Mississippi's capital came as welcome news. Um, not to speak ill of anybody that lives in Mississippi, man. Shout out to my people in Mississippi. But my elder Rashaw said his mother used to say, man, she don't even like flying over Mississippi, man. The ghost of the evils that was done to our people in Mississippi, man, is massive. From the first concentration camp on American soil, man, where massive deaths for our people was found, called the Devil's Punch Bowl, right? The innumerable lynchings and hangings, uh, just the utter destruction of our people, man, taking place in just that one state alone. Now here she is hunting for water for 7 weeks, looking for safe drinking water. Has it been that long? 7 weeks have already passed since then. That's hard to believe, man. It's almost been 2 months. It seems like it was just a few weeks ago. That's how fast life can pass us by, man, and not realize the struggles that's going on for our people in certain areas. Unbelievable. But oh, Governor Tate Reeves says, "Hey, the water's clean. Don't worry about it." So, are we to trust our enemies? Are we supposed to trust that they've got our, our well being in mind? Yes, because what the fuck, yeah. Wow, we'd be struggling spelling that. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust on enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So here goes good old Governor Tate. Hey, the water's clean again. Don't worry about it, niggas. Y'all go ahead and flush the toilet, drink the water. It's all good. But look at this. But the crisis in the city of Jackson isn't over. Even if its boil water advisory was lifted on Thursday, just this past Thursday, excuse me, while the state plans to stop handing out, the state is going to stop handing out free bottled water at sites around the city Saturday night. The city said water pressure still hasn't fully been restored, and state health officials said lead in some pipes remains worrisome, that pregnant women and young children should still use bottled water. This is why the sister's out hunting for water. The governor says, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Then they say it's still lead in the water. They telling you don't have to boil your water no more. Just go ahead and drink it. Lead in the water is still present, that it could be destructive to a pregnant woman or young children. But they said it's fine. The water that's coming out of my kitchen sink smells like fresh sewage. As soon as I turn it on, it hits you right in the face. It's horrible. Wooten said earlier this month, I've tried to give one of my dogs the water, but when she smells it, she won't even touch it. She walks away from it. I mean, good Lord. And they saying, go ahead on and nothing's wrong. It's fine, honey. Go ahead and take a swig. And the dogs won't even drink it. Can you say Flint again? Wooten said Friday that the liquid liquid flowing into her kitchen sink smells like sewage, but not as bad as before, and she's glad she won't have to run to distribution sites before their bottled water supplies run out each day. Each day, they were running out of water. And she's got to rush over there to make sure she can get hers for her kids, and the dogs. Remember, I said that a while back about don't have pets when these water shortages come up, man, and Esau turns off the damn water somewhere. Don't have pets, man, because you're going to decide. Are you drinking or is Fido going to eat or drink? You understand? So, other residents told the Associated Press on Friday that their water remains too discolored to count on, so now they'll have to rely on water distribution by community run charities or buy water again themselves, adding insult to injury. So the state said, we're out of here. We ain't giving out no more water. They still have some charities there, so as long as supplies last, they can still go get water. Otherwise, they got to go buy water. I mean, look at the sink alone. See, let me read this last little bit here. Jackson had already been under a state health department boil water notice for a month when torrential rain fell in August, flooding the Pearl River and overwhelming the treatment system. Water pressure abruptly dropped, emptying faucets for days. How did this happen? Residents, politicians, experts, and activists say systematic racism is the root of the cause. Jackson's population has declined since 1980, a decade after the city's schools began integrating. Many white families left for the suburbs. White flight. Leaving less revenue to maintain the infrastructure. Middle class black people then moved out to escape urban decay, and rising crime, state and federal spending made up the difference. So, long story short, man, we've already covered and talked about how the water treatment plant was understaffed, needed work, was been neglected for years. So who knows how long our people was down there drinking bad water, low pressure, everything's jacked up down there. Now when the storm hits, everything goes to hell in the handbasket. And now they got to double back and say, damn, have we been getting treated racially? Have we been getting treated wrongfully with how they've been dealing with our water system down here? Oh yeah, the sad realities is, yeah, you still a nigga, man. The white man don't give a damn about you, and it's only showing right now. Even after the fact that they said, oh, the water's just fine. The boil water advisory is over with. Governor says you can turn on the water, man. Go take a shower. Everything's cool, and the dogs can't even drink that water. And you telling our people it's safe? Good Lord, man. That's it for you, brother. It's a mouth I acquire first name. IQ is all the same, man. You've reached DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. Episode 148, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man. I want to remind everybody, man, always fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Oh, no. Hold on. Hopefully everybody remained to the end. If you didn't, I will re-advertise this. I'll be remiss if I did not do this. Let me share my screen one more time. Let me share my screen one more time, man. Oops. Oh, what happened here? Let me share my screen one more time. Hopefully y'all can see this. Let me see. It doesn't look like it's showing. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see this. If not, I'm about to redo it. Either way, uh, I want to plug my elder, Sha'af Yahweh. I want to plug my elder's book. Um, he's an accomplished author under the name R.J. Russell. He's got three books, to my knowledge, that's been published out there, man. If it's on your heart to support this brother and his works, man, for the poets out there, for the rappers out there, for those that appreciate, you know, books like the Psalms and things of that nature, man. Brother has a great talent for writing about different topics and the conclusionary issues that we see in the scriptures, but putting in a poetic form. It's a book of poems, um, authentic and original works by my elder Sha'af Yahweh. These books are located on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. This is the third edition, Unadulterated Evil in America, January 6, 2021. You know that was a significant date in American history. So, he aptly called it that um, at the time of the publishing. The first volume, Unadulterated Evil in America, um, is located. You can find that on Amazon, and then he also has another book called Life. Life. So you see it here on Barnes and Noble .com. If it's in your heart, Israel, man, support my elder, man. Brother put a lot of time and effort in on that work, um, and it's got some very introspective, creative things, man. The brother used to write, for Motown and all of that. So he's got a knack for speaking that word, man. So here's his other book right here. The first edition, Unadulterated Evil in America. It's on Amazon. R.J. Russell is his literary name. His Hebrew name is Sha'ath Yahweh, man. So if it's on your heart, Israel, man, support my elder, man. Go out there and buy you a copy, man. Um, Buy one, send one to your fellow brother or sister in the truth, man. You may want to give it as a feast of dedication gift. You may want to just keep it for yourself. It's on Kindle. You got hard copies. You got a paperback. You know, uh, but it's just another work, man. Another work that the brother put in, man. 147 pages on this one. But if it's on your heart, man, support the works, man. All right. So all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man. I'm gonna definitely continually plug that. I don't do, how we get down over here, man. We don't always be trying to sell and panhandle and send money and cash apping all the time. We advertise it because money does answereth all things, and it does help with the ministry and what we do here. Any and all is accepted, but at the same time, the scriptures even say, man, not to muzzle the ox. He's worthy of his hire. So, brothers put in good works and you appreciate it. You support those things, not only here, but wherever, Israel is doing good works, man. So, with that, man, I'm going to conclude, man. Always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments. And if you haven't, make sure you wipe your feet on your way out. Until the next time, man. Shalom.